Yes, sir. Welcome to another episode of the AWOL podcast. You already know what it is. Of course, I got to do my due diligence and tell y'all to hit that like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to all the people that subscribed after the home team episode. I love y'all, right? I have to do that. I'm going to get into this. It's all walks of life. Might as well be called all types of conversations. But this Saturday, September 10th, there's going to be a dope UFC card. I love UFC. I can't even tell you how long I've been watching it. But anyway. So, I made a post. I'm going to tell you what the post is now. And I'm going to let you know the feedback that I got from some people. Are they still talking about it? Hold on. Boom. I asked, this is a UFC episode / not even UFC. It's just the mentality of certain people, how they get looked upon if you don't fit the mold. People think you're bugging or you're wild or if you're not smart or you're not rich enough. It ain't about that. But I had said, I said, I haven't done a podcast in a while. Might do an episode on the UFC, but considering this might be Nate Diaz, one of my favorite fighters, the Diaz brothers, last fight in the UFC, but definitely the last on his current contract. I might have to. I think that some people don't understand where they come from, but they make perfect sense to me. And I asked to all my UFC purists. I say UFC, but I should have said MMA because we're talking about a mixed martial arts. UFC is mixed martial arts. UFC, you don't, if I don't train, I don't fight, I'm just saying. If you train MMA, you don't go. There used to be a thing where people go, I do UFC. What? No, you do MMA. You don't do UFC. UFC hosts MMA fights. You don't do UFC. You are an MMA, mixed martial artist. That's what you are. You're not a UFC fighter or art. Sounds crazy. So I said to all my UFC purists, because they are fair weather fans. Everybody knows what that means. When everything's good, they're your fan. As soon as you hit a stump, they don't fuck with you no more. Therefore, I watch BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu matches, flow grappling, dope series on YouTube, the Daisy Fresh crew. I watch that, Muay Thai, any type of physical combat I like. Like I said, I'm not a fighter, but I like it. I understand it. I'm amped up for this one. Pardon me. Because I've been on social media. Because like I said, I'm a Diaz fan, and the way they're talking is crazy. And they've been talking crazy about the Diaz brothers. But one thing they don't understand is business and real life. Some people do this, and it's real life. Some people grow up in the hood. Some people grow up in the suburbs. And we all know this. If your daddy handed you a company that was already worth $1 million and you're worth $4 million, $4 million now. I was about to go off on a tangent. We already know what it is, bro. Yeah, you made 1 million into 4 million, but you had $1 million to start off with. That's the difference between hoods and suburbs. Come on, man. So I asked, and as far as a purist fan is concerned, when you see two fighters in the UFC, we're not talking about flow grappling or Abu Dhabi or who's number one, or all these other, for example, BJJ matches. It's boring to some. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is not boring to me because I know what I'm looking at. I don't know because I don't do it, but what I'm saying, I know what I'm looking at. It's not boring to me. So in the UFC, two people are on the floor, you hear the crowd go, boo. Bro, do you understand what they are doing right now? They are literally trying to kill each other with their hands, feet, chokeholds, arm bars. I'm trying to take your arm home with me. If I did BJJ, I would say, I'm going to go into this match and I am either going to choke you out, take your leg with me, take your arm home with me, or you're going to choke me out and do the same with my arms and legs. You might put me in a twister. Who knows? So when that happens in the UFC, the crowd boos. And I'm like, how many people in the crowd booing even fight? You don't even know what you're looking at if you're booing. If it gets boring, it's boring. I'm not going to lie. But when it's a high level of jiu-jitsu or grappling, why are you booing? You know how hard that is? You're trying to get somebody and not get got at the same time. Because if two professionals are in there, you can't fuck up. You can't give him a thumb or her, whatever. You can't give him a thumb. I'm talking about my point. Because you might fuck up. You can't let your ankle just hang around there. Leg lock. You get what I'm saying? It's a wrap. Heel hook, it's a wrap. And you're like, he ain't gonna do that to my foot. You never got heel hooked before. And you in the crowd booing. You don't understand what they're doing. That's what means purist. Fair weather fans are the ones that boo. They want the knockout. Go to boxing with that rigged ass sport. My feelings. It's fucking rigged, bro. Come on, man. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. So I asked who you got. Shout out to my homie Edwin. He said Diaz in 2. I said, oh shit, okay. How do you think it gets done? Sub or knockout? He said knockout. I'm assuming. No, Diaz in 2. That means Diaz wins and he knocks out Khamzat Chimaev, which is, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not knocking his opinion. If he goes 3, then submission via rear naked choke. I could see that happen because he did it to Conor. Everybody was sleeping on Nate. They act like he's gonna fight Khamzat Chimaev and be like he never been in some shit. And I'm gonna go over some stats. Sorry if I'm talking fast, but I got some shit to do, and I gotta get this out because today is Thursday and the shit is going down. Weigh-ins tomorrow. Fight is Saturday. Shout out to my homie Wes. He was like, stop it. Mind you, yo, Wes, you the homie since probably kindergarten, I think I known you, fam. So when I talk my shit, just understand what I'm saying. You mad vague, which this is the problem with text. All context is lost. You're vague. We're talking about 2 fighters. You can't just say, I hope he wins. Who, bro? Who are you talking about? Oh, man. He wrote, stop it. Stop it, man. And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, where did he go? Stop, or maybe, Did he delete? No, he didn't. I think he did delete it. Oh, no. Mind you, this shit live. Did he delete his shit? Yo, Wes, don't be doing that, fam. He did delete it. Damn, Wes. I'm going to have to hit you up. Yeah, I'm drinking a beer for this one. Anyway, we had a back and forth on that. The reason I posed the question on why, where people don't understand the Diaz brothers, and I'm back to the hood and suburb part. The Diaz brothers are from Stockton, California. They didn't have much growing up. I know a little bit about them. Well, enough about them. But I said, let me do some more research for this. Right? Let's go with, y'all gonna have to do this episode would take like an hour long if I got into all the details, right? But they would fight in high school. There's a different, let me start with this. When they hear the Diaz brothers talk, they sound dumb, they're too high, they smoke too much weed, they can't formulate a sentence. Understand that their schooling, they grew up in Stockton. That's like Patterson, Camden, for all my Jersey heads. Opelika if you're in Florida, Hialeah. You get what I'm saying? Compton if you in Cali. You feel me? Like, it's not the suburbs. And for everybody, the fair weather fans that are like, oh, they don't know, or not even the haters that are like, they don't talk good. They don't, they're high all the time. Listen, you don't know their upbringing. If you're saying that, you don't know their upbringing. Also, how many times did they get punched in the head? CTE is real. I hope not. I hope they don't have any TBIs, traumatic brain injury. I hope not. I don't know what the future life will hold for them. But they grew up in the hood, barely went to school, fights in school. Nick Diaz is the older brother to Nate Diaz. Now, I found an article, right? You got to understand, now that you got poor Mexican, I believe 100% if I'm not mistaken, poor Mexican from the hood in California, and Nick Diaz fought in Strike Force, if I'm not mistaken, first before UFC. So he said, this isn't a sport. This is war. This is warfare. The mentality of that, to go that when you see Conor, I understand he had a rough upbringing too. But they get the whole flashy and this and that, where the money at. And listen, for real fighters, it's a fight. Doesn't matter. It's a fight. We're going to war. What do you think I'm in here going to bullshit? When you're trying to kick my head off, it's war. And if you fought in high school and you're poor, you probably fought at the bodega every day or whatever. It's war. A fight is a fight, regardless of the matter. Right. So now, when it goes to the fact that this is warfare, this is Nick Diaz. I'm reading statements here. My mom and dad taught me nothing but ABCs. I moved from school to school, put on drugs, and made fun of by my classmates because after being disruptive in class, the teachers would always tell the other kids I was on meds and sometimes not take them. AKA bullied. Even the teacher was talking shit because Nick was, you know what I mean? Doing whatever. Meanwhile, Nick, at the age of 16, he experienced his girlfriend's death. Once again, a statement. This is Nate Diaz, who's fighting on Saturday versus Khamzat Chimaev, his older brother. This is the world that they're living in. And don't tell me if your brother went through something, you're not going to feel it. Before I ever had my first pro fight, July 5th, 2000, Bart had a party at his house, his friend. The night before, Stephanie had told me she loved me. After the party, I was going to go back to her house with her brother because he was my best friend. But some friends weren't doing too well, and we said, fuck it, let's go back to my crib. So I had to go. I changed it up with her. An hour later, I got a call from her mom saying, are you with Stephanie? She came straight to my house to get me, took me up and down the frontage road on Highway 99 by my grandma's house next to their trailer park. There was a wreck on the freeway. I jumped the fence and saw only one car and ambulances. She had walked and killed herself on the freeway. The girl I loved more than anything had tried to kill herself for the third time and succeeded. Right? So he goes to say, there was no way I was going to school. I had no money or no car. I would have driven there and stopped her. After that, I was grown up. It was all over. I wasn't a kid anymore. I won my first fight in the first round with a choke, and all I could think about was her, just like when I was in school. I would run 7 miles and back to her grave just to promise her I would make it as a fighter like she knew and had told me she knew and was proud of me. Wild. Wild. That's that. Then you have Nate Diaz. When you grow up in that environment, it's kill or be killed. And when he said after his girlfriend died, I don't know if that article's 100% true. Don't fault me on that. I'm already 15 minutes in and I'm going to cut this short because I got to go over some stats real quick. But when you grow up in that environment, barely some schooling, I'm assuming, right? That traumatic thing, if this is all real and you done gave up at 16 years old and you go, that's it, I was grown up. My girlfriend ended it, I'm grown now. This is life. It just got real. Partying, yeah, Stephanie said, I love you. Next day she dead, I was grown. When it gets to that level, fair weather fans watch the UFC and these fighters as if like, boo, I put money on you. Fuck you. That's like Gary Vee telling me I need to do better. Or, it's easy, bro. Just wake up. You got it. Stop being a bitch. Do this. Fuck you, Gary Vee. Motherfucker, what you doing? You getting rich off of telling me to get rich. What the fuck is that? How you telling me to get rich? You getting rich off telling me to get rich. How though, bro? Watch Drink Champs with Mayweather and Noriega's Drink Champs with Mayweather. I don't like him too much. I love his hustle. I'm just saying. I'm going off on a tangent. Anyway, but watch that shit and understand when people talk shit, it's a different thing if you don't know what you're talking about. So to grow up like that, and then you find jujitsu, and that's what you do. Under the Gracie family's last name. Their black belts don't come from these fucking strip mall black belts that people be popping up shops. Here's your black belt in 6 months. Bro, you need like, unless you're BJ Penn, you need like fucking years. I probably want to go like 8 to 10 to get a black belt. I'm just talking shit. Imagine that life. Then you finally go and you start fighting professionally and get this money. You already have, I don't understand how people, especially my people that I know that are from my area, we know what it is. We know what Big Brother is. We know what the man is. We know what poverty is. So why when it comes to them, we just delete all that as if they're just characters in a video game that we get to smash buttons and make them fight. These people are human. They have an upbringing. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it make no sense when they start talking shit about fighters as if they walk into that cage and their history means nothing. Yes, it does. So when I fight and it's war, and I know you're making $1 billion, yeah, I'm eating, but you ain't giving me my dues. I'll fall in line at first, but once I realize that you eating off of me, because of me and off of me is even worse. I want mine. I don't want a piece of the pie. I want control of the kitchen. Yeah, they're going to feel a certain type of way. And then they hear them talk as if like, what do you want them to be? Harvard students and you want them to be English scholars? Come on, man. All they do is fight. Talk all that shit you want to. But everybody that said, oh, they sound dumb, fight them. Fight them. You that tough. Talk about, oh, they don't know how to talk. Okay, fight them. Because at the end of the day, what did he say? It is war. All is fair in love and war. Doesn't matter how smart you are. If this shit became the purge, I don't care how many degrees you have. If you can't fight or tactically strong with weapons, you are done. So your books mean nothing. So while we're all living here in our little walled garden, walled off in our little garden, it's easy to talk shit about somebody who's staring over the fence until that wall gets knocked down and now it's an even playing field. Now you shook. Let's see how good your English takes you. Let's see how far your words can take you. Let's see if your words can defend your life. Probably not. So when this has nothing to do with. This is why I was upset. I don't care about. I do care, but I'm saying just off this tangent. I don't care about records and this and that. I just don't like how they downplay. I'm a Diaz Brothers fan. Disclaimer. Favorite fighters of all time. Just on the aspect of realness. And they got their money. They played Nick Diaz with the weed shit. But Nate Diaz is paid. Paid. I just don't like that. Right? So now he's fighting Hamza Chimaev. Which is a tough fight. I'm not going to lie. I'm not out here bugging like I'm not delusional. I'm not delusional. I know it's a tough fight. Right? But Nate Diaz, Ultimate Fighter Season 5. Was it Season 5? Hold on. I think it was Season 5. Whatever. So let's go back. Exhibition. Let's look at Diaz's record real quick. First fight. Is this a professional UFC only? All right. WEC. Submission, triangle choke, he won. Oh, come on, don't go back. Right? First fight, professional. He had 3 exhibitions, which he won. Submission, rear naked choke, submission, triangle choke, submission, guillotine choke. 3 chokes. That was, and let's not forget, Gray Maynard was his third, which is, come on, pretty good. Professional, submission, triangle choke. Then he lost by a unanimous decision. Cool. Then he won punches. Then he won punches. Then he won triangle choke. Then he won with a key lock submission. Then he lost via armbar. This is WEC still. This ain't even UFC records yet. Then won shoulder injury, the other dude. Then guillotine choke, won again. Triangle choke. Mind you, Ultimate Fighter Season 5, this is when he got to the UFC. He was on that the Ultimate Fighter show. He won the whole shit, made it to the final and won. Then, first UFC fight night, guillotine choke. Another fight night, triangle choke. Then he fought Kurt Pellegrino, triangle choke. Josh Neer, won, split decision. Then he fought Clay Guida. If y'all don't know Clay Guida, y'all ain't never seen a brawler like Clay Guida. It's wartime. He lost via decision. Then he fought Joe Stevenson. Check him out. Lost versus a unanimous decision. Then he went on to fight Melvin Guillard. Another good one. At the time, they were like, oh no. Nate won, guillotine. Then he lost to Gray Maynard via decision. Remember, he hasn't lost yet versus anything other than the armbar. And that was WEC. That wasn't even UFC. But I'll throw that in there just for the haters. Right? Then he went, what was that? Gray Maynard, lost, split. Then won. Next fight, 12-5, punches. Then guillotine choke again, won. Then he lost to 2 more heads, decision. Still hasn't got knocked out. We got that armbar in WEC. Then he won. Then Nate won. Takanori Gomi armbarred him. Donald Cerrone, Cowboy. He fucked Cowboy. Decision, unanimous. Jim Miller, problem, guillotine choke. Then he lost another decision to Benson Henderson. This is when it gets crazy. I believe this is his only knockout, and it was to Josh Thompson via head kick. Then he fought Gray Maynard again. Didn't he lose? He lost to a decision to Gray Maynard. Then they fought again, and he fucked Gray Maynard up by punches. Unanimous decision to Rafael Dos Anjos, which, come on. Then he won another decision versus Michael Johnson. He submitted Conor. He lost to Conor the second time. It was a decision. First fight, he choked the shit out of Conor. And everybody was like, Nate's going to lose. He choked him out and said at the end, I'm not surprised, motherfucker. Famous. I know. Then he lost to Conor. Many people say it's 50-50. Then he beat the shit out of Anthony Pettis. Beat the shit out of him. To the point where I think Anthony Pettis left the UFC and went to, is it the PFL? I think he went to the PFL, Professional Fighters League. That's where Anthony Pettis went. And they got knocked out there. Whatever. Then he fought Masvidal for the BMF belt. Bro, that belt was made because of Nate Diaz. Stop playing with his money, bro. You think Conor got a draw? Nate Diaz, in my eyes, got a bigger draw than Conor does. Where's Conor right now? He hasn't got tested by USADA in a year. He's steroided up somewhere. Then he lost a unanimous decision versus Leon Edwards. That record is crazy. Now, Khamzat Chimaev. I'm sorry. This is for my UFC fans. If y'all watching this and y'all be like, yo, I ain't down with this shit. Sorry, people. But it is what it is. Right? Who did he fight? Don't know. What's his UFC record? All right, brave. He won via Darce choke in his first UFC fight versus John Phillips. Caught him in the Darce choke. Not that easy a choke to get. Then he beat Rice McKee, punches. Gerald Meerschaert, punches. One that I will give him is Li Jingliang, which is also fighting Saturday. Rear naked choke. And then he won Gilbert Burns for his decision. All his fights in the UFC, quick. I think there were first rounds he got hit once within his 1, 2, 3, 4 fights. I think Khamzat was hit like 3-4 times total. It might even be one. I'm just don't want to seem too crazy. But I think Khamzat was hit once. So you got those 4 fights. 1, 2, 3, 4 fights he won in the UFC. His 5th fight was Gilbert Burns. He won unanimous decision, but he never went the full 3 rounds. First time Khamzat got his endurance tested. But as a professional, as nasty as Khamzat is, he's probably went back to the gym for this Nate Diaz knowing that Nate will go turn up after 3. He probably figured that out. But I'm saying that was even a close fight for Gilbert. It was a, give it 3-2 to Khamzat. I don't know. I watched it, but I'm going to have 3 times. I'll have to watch it again. But, come on, man. Nate was fighting in the UFC before Khamzat. All I'm saying is this. If I was a very frugal betting man, I would go with Khamzat Chimaev. Listen, you already know how I roll. I don't lie. It's facts. I would go with him. If I was a let's take a chance betting man, I'd go with Diaz because the odds are crazy. And you can't sleep on Diaz. He might. And not only him, this is a fight game. You saw Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman was chilling 4.5 rounds. 5th round, what? Leon head kicked him. Bang. Usman, done. Lost belt. What? Lucky. Usman had the fight. He could have jogged away like Conor or held him down like Khabib for 30 minutes, like the Diaz brothers said, and sniffed his nuts for the rest of the 5th round. But no, he did whatever and got caught. See what I'm saying? It's fighting. That's the fight game. You think you're chilling until your ass get knocked out. And then you talk about, I don't want to go to school, Mom. And you in the middle of an arena. Talk about, I don't want to go to school. Sleeping. But regardless of the matter, the reason I did this podcast episode on this was I feel that the Diaz brothers, as much, and this was a quick breakdown, even though it's 30 minutes, I'm sorry, I could do this for 7 hours. The reason I don't understand, like, they have the biggest, especially Nate and Nick, the biggest fan base ever. Their draw is tremendous. But for some reason, the internet and media makes it seem kind of like they don't. Or fighters in the game act like they don't. I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Yes, they do. Oh, what? You mad because they're like, I want more money? Okay. I'm your boss. You're my employee. You stock shelves. I pay you $15 an hour. And then I go, oh, guess what, bro? I want you to learn more tasks. And I want you to not only stock the shelves, but do the register. All right, $15 an hour. Then I go, hey, the janitor called out. Can you do that? You're like, okay. Not my job title, but word. Then you go, you know what? Can you do this paperwork? And you go, paperwork? That sounds like $17 an hour. And don't mind you, you got me doing these other jobs that I was with. And it gets to that point where you're like, girl, bro, I should be getting paid $25 an hour here. What are we talking about? I understand it's business. If you can milk them, milk them. Hey, it's on the person to stand up for themselves. Fuck greedy bosses. But what I'm saying is, it's on the employee to stand up for themselves. So when Nate and Nick stood up for themselves and stand up for themselves, people are like, what have you done? Look at your record. Bro, you're a fair weather fan and you're not an MMA purist. You don't understand what they did. You don't understand life. There's a whole bunch of things that you're not taking into account. And I'm not discounting Khamzat Chimaev, Khabib's upbringing, and everybody else's upbringing. I'm just saying, for the people to act like the Diaz brothers didn't set history in the mixed martial arts world, not the UFC. Their lineage is real. Nate is a 3rd-degree black belt. Khamzat, I believe, is purple. Google it. Nate, 3rd-degree black belt. Khamzat, purple. Mind you, stupid dope wrestler, Khamzat. Nate, not so much. Everybody got their pros and cons. But what I'm saying is, I don't like the fact how they shit on the Diaz brothers, because I feel like, why? Because they don't talk as good. They're not as elegant with their words. Bro, they're warriors. If I was running an army, I want warriors. I want people that'll fight to the death if I started an army. I don't give a fuck how good their math skills are. I don't give a shit. Are they loyal and can they fight? That's what a general and a leader wants. Warriors. Now, if I want in my political party, in my house who are making rules, I want geniuses. I want people, maybe they can't fight. That's cool, but I don't need you to fight because I got my warriors here. I need my smart people that are smarter than me to tell me this is what we have to do. Who gets rations? This is how the tax gets paid. This is how we divvy out the food if we were going back to like the Art of War days. You know what I mean? I need that. So they're warriors. Why do we want them to be warriors and economists? Or you know what I mean? Or we want them to keep the record books and write down what has been going on in history while we're laying while the present time is getting done. We want the Diaz, we want the warriors to be licking the pen to write down what's going on. No, I need you to be out in the field fucking some shit up. And they're warriors and that's that. Why do we need them to be all, it's wild. And guess what? They're richer than all these motherfuckers talking shit about them. So as dumb as you think they are, cool. What's your bank account look like? And even if your bank account is more, I'll bet you they'll fuck you up. Disclaimer, like I said, I'm a Diaz Brothers super fan. It's Nick Diaz Army for life. I don't give a shit. And that's that. Can't wait for this fight. I don't know what's going to happen. I will say on paper, not even on paper, I will say Khamzat's young, fast, wrestler, hungry. You would think that he'd win. Maybe. He's been arguing with Paulo Costa, but whatever. I think he argued with Kevin Holland, but whatever. He might be whatever. We don't know if he's after the Gilbert Burns fight. I don't know. Nick might not even be into the fight because he's like, last fight of the contract. Let me get the fuck out of here. Started my own promotion. Let me get this money. He already secured the bag. He chilling. They got their own weed line. Game Up. It's called Game Up. Real Fight Inc. or something like that. Their new fight promotion is called. It's not an event planner. It's a promotion. So who knows? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know, and I don't care. I don't give a fuck. It's Nick Diaz on me for life. It's going to be a good fight. Shout out to y'all. Sorry if I bored y'all on this episode if y'all ain't into MMA, fighting, warrior, status. But I love this shit because I don't do it, but they do it. And I appreciate it and I respect it because I don't do it. Not getting my head kicked in by somebody. And they do this for fun. They do this shit for bread, but it is what it is. Some people do it for the money. Some people do it just because it's war. A fight is a fight and it's war. So, leave me alone. Do that. Go to the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Like, share, thumbs up, all that good shit. Sorry if I'm amped up, but I'll take this shit for real. But yeah, man, thank you for rocking with me. This is an AWOL podcast, and I'm fucking out of here. Peace.